Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the Ray Harryhausen 100th birthday anniversary celebration. I've been a super big fan, like most of you guys, of Harryhausen since, oh my God, since I could barely walk, this little tiny guy. I was sort of like animating myself learning how to walk. Basically, I'm going to start out here with some of the basics, kind of just go through it for everyone. And if just bear with me if you know this information already, I'm just going to kind of clue everybody in, then I'll talk about some of my favorite films and I'll do a little bit of behind the scenes trivia and things like that. But anyway, here we go. Let's get this party started. Born back in June 29th of 1920 was Raymond Frederick Harryhausen in Los Angeles, California, of course, and he passed away on May the 7th of 2013 in London, UK, at age 92. He attended college at UCLA, and he also um, began his career, you might say, at home in a garage. He was a garage filmmaker, not as we call it today, a guerrilla filmmaker, but back then it was a garage filmmaker. After he saw King Kong as a child at Grauman's Chinese Theater, he was so excited and pumped about it that he had to see what was going on. He had to make his own film. So basically, the story goes that he started working. I think he was working with 16 millimeter at the time, and in his garage, and he made a bear, a cave bear, and I believe that legend has it that he used his mother's fur coat for that. And after she saw the film lesson, she wasn't so mad that he had cannibalized her fur coat to make the cave bear. And also, he did some great stuff there too. He did some dinosaur uh, models and he was also working on a couple of projects of his. He had creation and evolution he was working on. Not so much at that time; these were just mainly tests, but these were forethoughts of his for future and everything. Plus, he had the Jupiter monster, which was similar to the Emir, but quite a bit different actually, and very cool looking creature indeed. Anyway, he was working on all this stuff, and after a little while of experimenting on his own and looking at some things, through a friend of his, he was able actually to finally meet his idol, Willis O'Brien, and he went over to visit Obie at his studio, and Obie took a look at some of his drawings, some of his models, and things like that. And O'Brien had commented, that he liked what he was seeing, but he wanted Ray to study sculpture more, so he could study anatomy and things like that. Plus, he wanted to study filmmaking, photography, editing, lighting, art direction, all that kind of stuff. So Harryhausen jumped right on it. Even though he was still in high school at the time, he went over to take classes at night at USC, taking night classes over there of editing, photography, things like that. And the cool part about his classes, besides he was learning uh, technical skills and advance his craft, that's where he met Ray Bradbury, his lifelong friend. And so that's cool. I mean, they were friends up until Ray Bradbury passed away. And my God, they were in their 90s, so they were lifelong friends, a very, very, very long time. And anyway, that is so cool that they were there together and everything. And after that, Ray, he had gone into the army. He worked on I believe the coach's name was Sad Sack or something like that. He did like some covers of it for sculptures for the covers of the magazines and there. He also did a little small training movie while he was in the army. I believe it was How to Build a Bridge was the name of it, and it was basically showing how an army builds a bridge, a gorge or a river or something like that, and some kind of obstacle where they need to move heavy equipment across. Anyway, he did those in there, and then of course when he got out, he was working with the puppet team with George Powell a little bit, and then let's not forget his Mother Goose stories, the fairy tales, and so he worked on those. He didn't quite finish them, but he did get quite a ways into them. And those are neat. If you ever have a chance to check out some of that stuff, they're definitely worth checking out. And then, of course, after that, he got a call from Willis O'Brien. Willis O'Brien was working on Mighty Joe Young at the time, and he remembered Harryhausen, so he brought him on board to help out with animation. The first scene that Ray Harryhausen animated in the film was the scene where Mighty Joe Young was drunk in the basement where the guys that got him drunk at the nightclub there before he freaked out and broke the bars down and started trashing the whole place. Anyway, so that was the first thing he did. He remarked about having to do it very, very slowly. He said the movements were almost microscopic because Ray was drunk and and Ray was drunk, excuse me. Mighty Joe Young was drunk. Anyway, Mighty Joe Young was drunk, and so Ray had to really slow down the movements to appear that he was like kind of stumbling and lost and couldn't figure out what he was doing. And that's a fun movie, a great fun movie. Robert Armstrong in the film is just over the top. You thought he's Carl Denham character in King Kong and Son of Kong or something. And this one, Max O'Hara is just off the chain. He's like one of the stars of the movie. He's incredible. I love his performance in this film. But Mike Young, of course, is the star of the movie, and as he should be. And he's a great character. Especially at the end, when he saves the orphanage, the orphans at the orphanage is burning down. So awesome movie. Now, moving on from that, Harryhausen learned a lot during that film. So his next film was in the 50s, Beast from 20,000 Pounds from Warner Brothers. This film is amazing in several ways. Once, it also has a Rayosaurus creature in it, which I one of my favorite Harryhausen designs of all time. I think it's an awesome looking prehistoric monster, even though it really never existed in the fossil record. As you know yet, because you never can tell if it's not there. But just a really cool looking monster, very cool, and also was inspiration for Tanaka-san when he was he saw the film when he was doing some work over in Taiwan, China, location film work and things like that. And when he was flying back over the Sea of Japan, back to Tokyo, he thought about a giant monster like that down there, and that's where he came up with the idea for Godzilla. And basically, so without the beast in 20,000 fans, there probably would not have been a Godzilla. And more about Harryhausen and his thoughts on Godzilla later. But anyway, that movie is great. That's when he first started out his diorama type animation, which was fantastic at the time because mainly it hasn't been done before. They used a split photographic screen, and they've used a lot of glass paintings, like in King Kong and also Mighty Joe Young, and they used the optical printer back in those days. Plus, they still had optical printers they used. At one time, I believe the Oxbury 1600, I think was the name of the printer, and only in use in the world at this time. This is back in the late 50s, early 60s, and kind of diverting here, but it's the same thing. One belonged to Walt Disney Studios, and the other one belonged to Samurai at Toho Studios in Japan. So there's a little bit of info there. But anyway, Harryhausen was one that kind of changed the game on all that stuff. He is diorama or animation technique basically was where he sandwiched the tabletop model in between two pieces of film. You had the base film, which is what obliterated the tabletop, which was the bottom of the plate there. Then you had the top of the plate, which was all the other action that was involved in there, where the creature was animated against. This really was a game changer because now they didn't have to go near as many miniatures and things like that, which were more costly. He could just insert his creatures right into the film that had been shot, the background plates, or even the regular shots. It could just be inserted anywhere. So this is a great effect. I mean, it really changed the game. It was almost like the CGI this time. It really changed how special effects were perceived and done at that point in time in history. The beast, like I said, is a really cool creature. I love his monster so much. I get kind of misty eyed when the beast dies again. I mean, I know it has to happen, but still get a little misty eyed. He's a cool looking dinosaur. Next, of course, was It Came from Beneath the Sea, which is really cool because that was the first time that Harryhausen teamed up with Charles Schneer. And this was to be a really career-long friendship and working relationship between these two gentlemen. Schneer had this idea that octopus that was so huge it could pull down the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. So he and Harryhausen got together on it, wrote the script, and started the prep work on it. Now, it is true that the creature didn't have the full 8 arms, and they said it for budget reasons, but could be possible, or it could be just because of time constraints. You never can tell with things like that. But anyway, the one behind the scenes kind of story I thought was really funny, Harryhausen spoke about in Film Fantasy Scrapbook way back when, was he was discussing the city fathers in San Francisco were leery of letting them photograph the background place for the Golden Gate Bridge because they didn't want anybody to think, oh, this could be destroyed. Even though it was a fantasy film with a giant monster, they were still worried that this could happen in real life. They didn't want anybody to get frightened by it or anything like that. So anyway, what they did was they had to disguise their film truck as a brake truck and drive back and forth over the bridge until they got the required number of shots to finish the film with. And which is really cool. I really like the monster in this too. The Quintops, as he's being dubbed, I think that's his little nickname. Is a really cool looking creature. I like him also. I think he's an awesome looking beastie. And next was Earth's version of the Flying Saucers, which is a big favorite among a lot of people. Because that was during the Flying Saucer was really picking up during that time. Roswell had happened a few years before that. And this is where a lot of the stuff was really picking up because jets were really coming into vogue a whole lot here that particular time. And one of the things I remember Harryhausen talking about on this film particularly was the destruction scene, where the like where the Washington Monument fell and other buildings that fell. He was talking about how and had to animate each piece of the debris coming down, which I thought was really cool. It was a great effect in the film. I really enjoyed it myself. And after that, of course, was 20 Million Miles to Earth, which is a classic monster known as Amina, or Ina, however you wish to pronounce it. Either way is correct, I do believe. A classic looking creature. I love the design of this beastie, and and everyone else does too, because even to this day, you still see figures of it popping up here and there, everywhere, and it's just a great looking monster. Now I think also in this one, one of the big breakthroughs I believe in this film was is he had a lot of interaction with like a human-sized creature and also a giant-sized creature. You know, because you had the scene where the monster escapes from the back of the truck there from the scientist and his almost adopted daughter. And if you see the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And anyway, then the scene in the barn where the Eimer is fighting the farmer and biting him on the arm and stuff like that. Those are really, really cool because it was one of the first times we got to see a Harryhausen animated or an animated creature of any type that was like a human-sized adversary for someone. And of course, he grew gigantic, you know, later in the film, and met his end there. And they this is also kind of sad at the end. I hated it when he fell off and died. I'm just a big blubberpuss when it comes to these creatures. You know, I hate seeing them die and everything. But anyway, it was a great classic design, a great monster, and just fantabulous. Now, this is the last film that Harryhausen and Schneer did in black and white. They moved into color for the next picture, which they had to do really because the studios were really pushing them, from what I heard at that time. Which made sense, you know, because the color films were much, much more popular, and so it was going to boost the box office. Anyway, of course, this is Seven Voyage of Sinbad, which has everybody's favorite, or almost everybody's favorite, the Cyclops creature. I love the Cyclops, either the single horn version or the double horn version that pops at the end of Battle with the Dragon. Both of these creatures are really, really, really cool. And the skeleton, of course, is cool too in his battle. And I even like the big rock. I thought that was a cool Kabuki also. Um, One thing I think I always remember about this movie was is that Harryhausen said he loved working with Kerwin Matthews because he said Kerwin Matthews could really visualize what he had in front of him to battle with and to be, as for lack of a better term, seen in the process of the motion picture play, you might say. And Harryhausen was always really having. And if you look at Kerwin Matthews' expressions in the film, he's doing a great job of visualizing his opponent. He really, really is, especially during the skeleton fight. I mean, he's really selling that, if you would say. He's definitely selling that scene. And also another thing I remembered about this movie was during the scene where the sirens were trying to wreck the ship and they had like a storm going on. They're like throwing water and stuff all over Kerwin Matthews and there was like debris and little crabs and things flying through the air. Anyway, he was really ill at the time when they shot this thing. I believe he had the flu and he had like a fever of 100 or 101 or something, but you can't tell in the film. He's an excellent actor. So he went ahead and picked up with a trooper and finished the scene. It looked fantastic. And of course, everyone knows the princess in the film Catherine Grant did marry Ben Crosby next year, and so her film career was kind of over with after that. But she did a real job in the film, I thought myself. And all of these films during this period were huge box office successes. They were great. They made plenty of money, so that way the studios would reinvest once again and let Schneer and Harryhausen make more films, which was wonderful, just wonderful. Now, as we move on, getting ready to move into the 60s, the next film was The Three Rolls of Gulliver, which is a really cool film. Kerwin Matthews is back once again, and he does a great job once again in the visualization. I love some of the miniature sets in this, and also of course, the photographic effects of the plate matching with Kerwin Matthews into the scenes and stuff. I thought they really brought this novel to life. They did an excellent job. Harryhausen did in this film. And of course, the alligator at the end that has a little battle there with him and gets wiped out. I thought it was really cool with a little beastie. I enjoyed that one myself. And this film was also very successful for them. So of course, they were able to make another film, which is one of my personal favorites, which is one that comes up next, which is Mysterious Island. I love this film. Sort of like the somewhat sequel to 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Great movie. I love this film. From the shots of the balloon after the prison escape and going up into the clouds with the storm and everything. Just fantastic shots there. And when they do get to the island, we have this really cool creatures there. The giant crab at first, which is an awesome scene. Love that. And the giant people call it a giant chicken, but it's actually not a giant chicken. It's actually a giant prehistoric bird. I forget exactly how it's pronounced. I can't now. I know paleontologists and paleoarchaeologists are going to yell at me about this, but anyway, I believe it's pronounced like Prohothus or something like that. But anyway, forgive me, I blew that one. Anyway, a cool looking monster. I love that creature, and I love the animated gentleman on its back with a knife stabbing away on it before it gets shot by Nemo and crashes and turns out to be a really nice giant cookie dinner for everyone. Great creature there. Also, the bees and the beehive are excellent. I love those guys. And the Bernard Herrmann score is my favorite of all the Bernard Herrmann scores in this film. I love the Sinbad score, but I like this one actually even better. I thought this one was really super good. Um, and also, as far as other creatures go in the film, the big Nautiloid that's down in the sunken Atlantic City when they're down there trying to raise this pirate ship up was a really cool looking monster also. I love the background matte paintings in this film. They're fantastic, incredible looking. I mean, Harryhausen really outdid himself on this film. Excellent matte paintings, excellent monsters, nice story that was pumped right along, good actors and actresses. Just a wonderful film, and of course it was also very successful. Also, the next film, which is a huge film in the Harryhausen library, of course, is Jason and the Argonauts. Love this movie myself, and I know a ton of people out there also love this film. Um, Todd Armstrong did a good job in this. I thought he did a really well job. It would have been kind of cool if they could have got Terry Matthews back more time to do this character, I thought. But Todd Armstrong, like I said, he did a great job and did a wonderful job for this film. The Talos, of course, is a classic creature from this movie. Even though he's a statue, he's still a classic beastie. And he's just amazing looking creature. And of course, you do have Poseidon in this, which saves the Argonauts from the clashing rocks, which is really cool. Even though he's not an animated creature, nice fish tail. I like that for the costume. I thought it was really cool, and the special effects are great with the clashing rocks and everything. Just wonderfully done, wonderfully done. Even though it's more of a physical effect than you might say like a photographic special effect in a sense, but it's still really well done. Also, the harpies are excellent in this movie. They're really scary looking beasties, and I do dig them myself. Really cool looking creatures. And the Hydra is probably one of my favorite Harryhausen creations of all time. I love the Hydra. He said it was driving me nuts animating because of the seven heads. Because basically, and this is the same thing running through the skeleton through the Hydra's teeth, children of the Hydra's teeth. He said since there was seven heads on the monster, every time he would make a movement on the Hydra, like for the head, if the phone would ring, he would go answer the phone and come back and he'd be like, oh, God, where was I? Kind of thing. But I just love the Hydra. I think it's an excellent monster. I saw his one of his exhibitions when it was here in my hometown of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and they did have the Hydra there, and I was just blown away by it. I mean, I was sat there and stared at it for like 15, 20 minutes through his last case. I said, oh, this is like one of the greatest things ever. I was just blown away. Just thought it was fantastic. And then, of course, the skeleton battle at the end is probably one of the most famous Harryhausen scenes of all time, just hands down. And it's a great scene. I love it. Excellent fight choreography between the skeletons and the actors and stuff is really super well done. And once again, that was a thing that took about 4 months, I do believe, to finish animating just that one scene there, that one sequence. And but it was very well worth it. Very worth it. It was a fantastic film and a great addition to the Harryhausen Fantasy library of films. I mean, it's a classic. There's just no doubt about it on this film. An incredible classic. And of course, it was also very successful, like the rest of them. So once again, they were able to push onward and do more films. You know, in Harryhausen. Next came First Men in the Moon, based on an H.G. Wells novel. And to me, I like them film. It's a good movie, and I understand it. And there's some great special effects in it, especially like the city under the moonlight city underneath the crust of the moon. You might say underground city, I guess, which is great looking. I like the moon calf; he's cool looking, and things like that. The movie itself is really a nice story. It kind of pops right along there and everything. So it's an entertaining film. Not one of my favorite Harryhausen's, but I enjoy it for what it is in that library and the canon of his films. Because every one of his films is very important. They're each unique. They represent a progression of his techniques of storytelling, special effects, growth, character development, all that kind of stuff. You know, besides just a cool looking beastie. It's not one of my favorites, but I think it's an excellent, excellent movie. Next, we're going to be coming up here with two of my favorite movies, so I'll talk about them a little bit. First is the one of the few that smeared and not produced with Harryhausen in their career, and then of course is the Hammer Films production. They had brought Harryhausen over to do the remake of, well, it was originally called 1 Million BC, and it was Howard Studios from the 40s. And Henry wanted to remake it and call it 1 Million Years BC with Michelle Welch starring in it. And I love this movie because dinosaurs are really what got me started with Harryhausen. It really is. Um, Being at my age, I was able to actually see this movie when it first came out in the theater back in 1967, I think, was when it released. It was 66, 67, somewhere around there. But anyway, fantastic movie. I was completely blown away by the dinos. And the creatures, I mean, at first, you know, you got the big iguana and stuff and everything, which was kind of a, you know, a giggling nod to the original film and everything. But then we had the Brontosaurus, which is great. I love the Brontosaurus. I wish I could have had the time and the funds to use it for the final attack of the cave, which was similar to what was done in the original film with the big iguana and stuff. But it would have been great if they could have done that. But they just went ahead and used, which I thought was a great destruction scene at the end with the earthquake, the volcano, just and the uprising of the crust and the new jettisons of outcropping of rocks and miniature mountain starting. It's an incredible, incredible scene at the end of the film. But anyway, probably my favorite scene in the entire movie is the next dino that comes. Excuse me, is not the next dino that comes. That's actually the Archelodon, which is just trying to get back to Yoshi and almost runs over Timok on the way. And of course, Luana with Welch helps point him out of the way while the rest of the tribesmen are poking his really hard shell with their spears and stuff. And it's just not, you know, they're not doing any damage to the thing, but it's really cool to watch them sit there and poke on it. It's kind of fun to watch and everything. Um, the next thing, of course, is the baby Allosaurus, as you might call it, which is my favorite. I love the baby Allosaurus, and the scene in there is just incredible. I love that. A couple of days ago, I watched the international cut of this film, or the UK cut, however you want to say it. And there was a lot of stuff that was cut out of the US release. I didn't even notice that until I compared the two. And there's like little snippets that added on to all these different scenes, really cool stuff. But the Allosaurus is just such a fantastic scene. Great battle scene, great composition. The dinosaur is so cool looking, and just incredible scene. And it's great storytelling. That's what's kind of missing nowadays. Harryhausen's creations, they were part of a movie. True, it was a broad story. The entire film was a broad story, but the individual creatures and scenes when they were happening, those were great storytelling too because they added into the whole of the whole movie, the whole story. So it only accented that, and which was really really incredible. But anyway, I love the Allosaurus scene, and I just thought he was such an incredible looking little critter. And of course, after that, the next animated scene they have in there is the Triceratops versus the Stratosaurus, which is a great scene too. I love that movie. When I was doing I noticed years ago on, I think it was IMDb or something like that, that they were talking about that the Allosaurus was too small and the Ceratosaurus was too big. And I was thinking to myself, guys, you don't know what you're talking about. I don't know who writes the copy for that, but they need to forget about that because you know they didn't even research anything. So that's good. Uh, uh, they you know, it's just one of those things that it's one of those things that happens. I wish you might. Anyway, great scene there, great fight scene. I love that shot, and also in the extended version, the international cut, the little ape man. There's like a brutal battle where the creatures, while Sumac and Moana are hiding up at the top of that tree after she drops that fruit in there, and they start fighting over it. It's really pretty wild. If you haven't ever seen it, it's pretty brutal scene for back in that day and time. It's kind of neat to watch and everything, but it is definitely a brutal scene. The Next thing, creature, of course, is basically, after those fight scenes there, and that's done, then the next creature, of course, is going to be the pteranodon, which grabs Raquel Welch and flies off with it to feed it to its young. And it, of course, it drops in the ocean. It gets attacked by a pterodactyl, and the pterodactyl, of course, beats the pteranodon, and then goes and eats the babies, and Timok sees the babies being eaten, and so he thinks it's Luana, so he thinks, oh gosh, she's gone forever, and then, of course, she pops up back later on, and so he's like a really happy beast. Um, um, Anywho, um, the the film itself was very, very, very super successful, and I love this movie myself a lot because, of course, like I said, the dinos and everything. And just a shameless little plug here. I don't have any vested interest in this, but if you guys haven't liked X Plus stuff, X Plus is doing a 100th anniversary series of dinosaur figures from 100 years BC right now that you can still pre-order, I do believe. And anyway, they're really, really super cool looking. They're doing a Triceratops with Luana for the deluxe set, and there's a deluxe set for the Allosaurus with Timok, and they just look fantastic. So if you like stuff like that, check them out. I just want to throw that in there. Anyway, back to the action. The film itself is just an incredibly entry into the Harryhausen canon. Wonderful movie, and like I said, it was also very, very super successful. Now, next is my favorite Harryhausen film of all time, which is The Valley of Wanji, which is actually based on a old storyboard and synopsis that uh, Willis O'Brien had written way, way, way back then. I believe it was originally called something about, I forgot the kid's name. Him and his bull, and his bull was supposed to fight an Allosaurus. And anyway, Harryhausen got it, dusted it off. He found the old in his garage. He found the old story, redid it, reworked it, and became the Valet Wanji. And I just love this movie. I think this movie is insanely cool. Because Wanji is so really a cool monster. And a lot of people think he's a Tyrannosaur. He's actually an Allosaurus because he has the three fingers. And a lot of people don't know that. But anyway, he's just so cool. Wanji is definitely an excellent film creature, a legendary character that will live on in infinity as far as I'm concerned. The movie itself has some great acting in it. It has some great storyline in it. People love the little evil heifers at first, a little Dawn horse, which is great. And I'll tell you, some of the scenes in that really still blow me away today, even watching it, like when it's running through the grass. I'm not sure how they did that. I I don't know how they did that, but anyway, it's really a wild scene. I love watching that scene, and it's just incredible. And then when they go into Forbidden Valley, of course, they get in there, and the first creature they see is a pteranodon, which attacks them and tries to fly off with Loki, the little kid, off the donkey, with the professor's donkey. And anyway, so Carlos has to go over there and battle the pteranodon. And what was cool, they used a stop motion model of a pteranodon, and they also used a full size prop when he was breaking the neck of it. And so both of them cut pretty well together. So it's a really, really cool scene. And after that, of course, is they move on and they come across the little Gallimimus. I don't know if it's Gallimimus or if it's other small little dinosaur. Anyway, they start chasing at the rope that the guys do for the show. And unfortunately, Guanji pops up around the corner and eats the poor little bugger before they can get a rope around it. And then sees them. They see that Guanji making mad. And so Guanji takes off and starts chasing them. He chases them and they get the professor on the back of the horse because he wants to stay there with the Pteranodon and get everybody out of there. And Guanji grabs the Pteranodon and walks off with it for lunch. Have a little bird snack there, you might say. Anyway, and then of course Guanji in the film, he has his fight with the Styracosaurus later, which is a great battle and everything. And I just love Guanji. He's such a cool looking monster. And I like that they set this in Mexico also because they had a great scenery down there. And I believe it was shot in Spain, I do believe. Yeah, I do believe it was in Spain, not the Canary Islands like they did for One Minute BC and One Dinosaur's Rule the Earth, which is a totally different animation thing. But anyway, uh, great, great movie. Just a fantastic movie. If you have never seen it, search it out. It's on Blu-ray. I believe you can get it from Warner Brothers Archives on their online shop. And it's well worth adding to your collection. It really, really is if you've never seen it. And it's just a fantastic movie. I love it. And the roping sequence where they rope Guanji, Harryhausen said they actually used a Jeep with a pole on it to line up the actors' sight line. So when they were roping that pole, then you could insert Guanji later. and mat out the Jeep itself with a pole on it, which is very cool. And of course, Wanji gets loose and at the arena there, and they were unable to rent a elephant like they did for 20 million miles to Earth. So Harryhausen had to animate the elephant in the whole movie. And anyway, the elephant of course gets attacked by Guanji and gets killed and everything. And they actually deleted that scene out of the elephant being killed by Guanji from some of the television prints for many years because a lot of stations thought it was too violent and too brutal and everything. And that they thought it was a real elephant. And that is just goes to show you the mastery and the technique and the artistry of Ray Harryhausen, because he had an animal there, and the sensors thought it was actually a real animal. So that was really cool stuff. And of course, Wanji makes it onto the big cathedral and meets his demise in the fire and everything. And once again, sad movie for me because I hate to see Wanji go and everything like that. But I just love that film. I think it's incredible and really well done. I like Jerome Morris's score for the film. Excellent score. If you can find a copy of the score, get it because it's an excellent score. One of my favorites, and I know a lot of people out there really enjoy it also. I think it's a wonderful score. Um, After this, Harryhausen had sort of a dry period. Uh, had sort of a dry period in a sense. It wasn't really a dry period so much. There wasn't really much going on between '69 when Guanji came out and '73 when Golden Boy to Sinbad came out. And Sinner and him finally got approval from the studio to go ahead and make that. The reason was even though 1 Meters BC was really successful for Hammer film, Wanji was successful, but it wasn't super successful. And it wasn't a flop, but it wasn't super successful. Sort of like Godzilla King of the Monsters from last year. It wasn't a flop or a dud, but it wasn't a super runaway hit either, like they were hoping. So it was like a medium hit. So the studios kind of got cold feet and kind of backed off of Harryhausen and Schneer stuff a little bit for a few hits. But they came roaring back with Golden Boy to Sinbad, which is an awesome movie. I love the different creatures that are in the film. You have the homunculus, which is awesome. You also have, golly, one of my favorite creatures, the Kali sword fight, which is incredibly done. I love that sword fight film. Great fight choreography, great sight lines from the actors, excellent animation, very well done. And the dance that Kali does before the fighting is pretty done well also. Now, of course, this film does have Kelly Monroe in it, and she's so gorgeous. She's like her own special effect anyway. So anyway, she was awesome. Wonderful actress, wonderful lady. I met her once before. She's just a wonderful person. She's really great. She's a great lady, and she did so many wonderful films. Also, besides this, she did, of course, Spy Who Loved Me, James Bond. Just a little thing, a little drop there. But this film was really great. I love the Centaur Cyclops in this. I thought he was so cool looking, so very cool looking. And I love the final battle scene he had with the Griffin. I just thought that was an incredible fight. I love that. And it was different looking creatures that Harryhausen had here. So I just thought these were really wonderful beasts that he came up with. And of course, Tom Baker playing the evil monster in this film. It's kind of a reason I giggle is because I also think about Tom Baker and his TV roles. There, some of them made really famous and everything. But anyway, um, it's just a wonderful movie. And it's really, like I said, with any of the Harryhausen films, if you get a chance to see them, check them out because they're definitely worth seeing. Definitely worth checking out. They're just incredible movies. The next film in the Harryhausen canon was another Sinbad film, which was Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger, which came out in 1977, which is a really cool film also. I like the big walrus in this one. I thought the big walrus was very cool. Something different up in the ice and snow, so that was a really different creature. And also, the I guess you would call him, oh gosh, the troglodyte was really cool also. I like the troglodyte. He was really cool when he got to the island, and he, of course, had to battle it out with the saber-tooth cat and then the saber-tooth cat was really cool looking. Uh, I just thought he was so awesome. I like the way his fur would bristle on the saber-tooth, kind of like King Kong did. It reminded me of King Kong's fur bristling. course, with the fingers that have been touching its butt, it reminded me of the same kind of effect. So I thought that was incredible also. And if I memory serves me correct, I do believe the Minotaur. I know it was an animated creature in a lot of that, but I do believe Peter maybe Chewbacca fame also played in the big costume. If I remember correctly, I think that's correct. And just a wonderful movie all the way around. Fantastic movie. I think the evil lady's name was Zenobia, the witch there. She was just a terrifying villain for a good for a Harryhausen film. John Philip Law uh, did a great job in Goldenwood as Sinbad, and I thought Patrick Wayne did a really admirable job here as Sinbad also. Um, I think really good. And of course, Jane Seymour was in the film. She was really cool as the his lady love, you might say, and damsel in distress thing. So she did a great job in it. She's a wonderful actress. Her body of work is just incredible over the years. Just an incredible body of work, and she did an excellent job in this film also. And I love this movie. This movie is very successful also. It was during the drive-in movie time, the late '70s, and so they would show this with like Golden Boys or something else like in that genre, and it made tons and tons of money at the time. So it's a very successful film also, which is good because that allowed them to continue on and make more films. Now, Harryhausen, the next film he and Smear did was of course probably one of the most famous of Harryhausen's movies of all time, Clash of the Titans, and which is a great movie also, bringing the story of Perseus and Andromeda to life. The Medusa in this, of course, is a really cool looking creature, one of Harryhausen's best creations of all time. Just an incredible creation. The model itself is just amazing to look at, and the animation of the film is incredible. Just an incredible effect there for Medusa. I'm kind of going with a lot of sequence of the creatures. I'm just going with the ones that are my favorites, and I'm working my way back down the list. Of course, the Kraken. The Kraken, he is so totally cool. He does have a little somewhat resemblance to an emu, but that's okay because he's really a cool looking beastie. I like him. And I think it was one of the largest models that Harryhausen ever animated in his films for the Kraken. Jim Danforth, I believe, animated his models were larger, I do believe, than the Harryhausen models, like the ones he did for, like, let's say When Dinosaurs Ruled the Earth. I do believe his models were a little bit larger scale than the Harryhausen ones. But just an excellent monster. I love the film version of him. And then, of course, we had Calibus, which was portrayed not only as a man in makeup and a costume, but also as an animated character also. Excellent blending there of the two uh, techniques of filmmaking, you might say, special effects makeup, special effects animation. Just a fantastic uh, blending there of the two things for storytelling. Just a wonderful thing. And the next thing I would think of in the film, of course, the Vulture's kind of cool too. I kind of dug him. Then, of course, during when the campsite got raided and the little boo boo little isles like dive bombed the Vulture, so that's kind of neat. A neat little scene there and everything. And also, I like the other creatures in there too. The Pegasus. I want to touch on Pegasus. Pegasus is incredibly well done. Very well done. I remember the tagline in the 1978 when the first Superman movie came out, Christopher Reeve. The tagline at the top of the poster was, "After his day, your legal man can fly." After I saw Clash of the Titans, I could believe a horse could fly because it was so well done. Harryhausen did a fabulous job on that film. And I believe Tim Danforth did some of the animation on Pegasus himself. I believe he did quite a bit of the animation on that. I believe the gentleman's name that did a lot of sculpting for the models in this film was a gentleman named Stephen Archer. I do believe that's his name. And the gentleman he did a fabulous job on the sculptures. And I just thought, um, um, and I thought he did a fantastic job on that. Um, just incredible. It's just a mind blowing film. And of course, it was very successful, and it's probably one of the more famous Harvey films, you might say, because even they remade it, of course, with Sam Worthington back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, I guess, really. But just an incredible movie, and it was so famous. People went nuts over the film, and I did too. I thought it was a great movie, just a wonderful movie. Now, one thing I didn't want, a couple little tidbits I want to throw in here. The only other film I believe that was not produced by familiar with Harryhausen was The Animal World that he did with Irwin Allen, which is a cool little film. The dinos in that film were done a little bit differently. Instead of building them up on the armature with individual muscles and then putting the latex skin over them, these were cast from molds, basically. And just cast there, put the armature in there, and there was a sculpture in there to just put it inside the mold, fill it with latex, and bake it and cure it, and there you go, instant animal. It's ready to rock and roll, ready to go. And but it's a cool little film. I like it. It's a neat movie. If you've never seen it, definitely check it out because it is definitely a cool movie. Now Harryhausen, I don't think he really planned on retiring after this film, but yeah, that's the way it went. He already worked up the sequel to Clash of the Titans. He was going to work on, I do believe, but it kind of got shelved because CGI just kind of come in because Dragon Slayer just come out and things like that, and so they were moving into a different direction. And so I don't, I think he could have went on. I really do believe he could have went on. They could have produced the sequels and other films. And I think it still would have held with us at the time because Harryhausen is such a popular filmmaker. I mean, even to this day, he's still insanely popular. You mention that name, everybody knows who you're talking about. Just everybody. Now, I believe it was in 19. Let's see. He did get the Gordon E. Sawyer Oscar Award, and I do believe that came. It's one that was presented to him by Tom Hanks at the Academy Awards, which was very very cool. If memory serves correct on that, I do believe that's what happened. So that was awesomely good. He got that. Of course, he's got the Rondo Award, and he's also got a Sci-Fi Hall of Fame Award he got in 2005, also too. Plus other accolades, of course. But my goodness, he's just such a fantastic filmmaker, legendary special effects man, just an incredible wealth of knowledge. Um, I wish he could have continued his career. I really do. I would like to see what he went into and everything. And I think when the CGI, like with Jurassic Park and stuff, that's really when he really thought he really decided to really stay retired and everything. But it would have been great if they could have continued on. I think that would have been wonderful. The um, exhibition I saw of his animal models and drawings and things was just incredible. I hope they are able to do some more of those and have them travel around the world, the United States, and things like that. Because if it comes even close to you, go see it because it is just wonderful. I mean, you're looking at film history here. It is things that you just don't see anywhere else. I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, when I lived in Los Angeles, they used to have special effect things like I remember going down to at the USC campus one time back in the 90s, and they had some Stan Winston stuff there, which was awesome also, like the cleaning from aliens and the power loader and things like that, which was great. But my God, when you see Harryhausen's models and things from the films, it's just incredible to see those creatures. If you grew up watching as a child, it just blows you away. It's just so incredible. So yeah, if they do any more of those exhibitions, touring things like that, go see it. You will not be disappointed, that's for sure, because there's so much cool stuff there. And also, speaking about Guanji, I have to touch on this because this is so cool. I believe Ray Harryhausen's daughter, Vanessa Harryhausen, her favorite creature, I do believe, of his is Guanji. And I believe that she used to go and hang out on the set with Ray Harryhausen when he was animating the film, working on the film. And if I've heard stories that she actually got to carry the figure of Guanji around herself like a toy or something like that, I guess. A beloved toy, of course. But I think that is just so cool. It's so wonderfully cool. And I would love to have a great Guanji figure to carry on myself. That would be wonderful. So I think that would be wonderful. So I read about that. I think that is incredible. I just got to share that with everyone because it's just insanely wonderful. Um, and yeah, like I said, Harryhausen stuff mostly is out there. You can find most of his films either on Blu-ray, DVD, or streaming services, and they're just out there. So check them out when you get a chance, most definitely. And Charles Schneer, he passed away uh, quite a number of years ago. Also, he died before Harryhausen did. I believe he moved back to the States, back to Los Angeles, or no, it wasn't Los Angeles. He did move back to the States, but I can't. It wasn't Los Angeles. I don't believe. I believe it was in New Jersey or somewhere in that area. I believe it was in the East Coast. But anyway, before he passed away, and of course, like I said, Harryhausen and Ray Bradbury were friends their entire life, and so they just had a wonderful time there and everything. But it's just incredible. And when you think about this entire body of work, all those movies, all those characters, all those creations, all that special effects work, it's just a huge canon of storytelling, excitement, monsters, and fantasy, and just everything that's wonderful about the movies. I think, just some really fun stuff. So I just blown away myself. I just when I see that stuff like that. So like I said, if you get a chance, get out there, check this stuff out. You will not be disappointed, and it's just mind blowing. And I have a real passion for this. I've always enjoyed special effects and all my life. And so I get a little carried away. I'm really excited about this kind of stuff. But I just think it's so wonderful. But hopefully, with this, I've planted some seeds of thought within people, and you'll go out there and you'll find these films, check them out, maybe even purchase some of the figures and books and things that are out there. There are books and things out there that are great to get to. Film Fantasy Scrapbook was the first one I got back way back when in the 70s, and I love that book. It was fantastic. And they've released some other ones, other books later that came out. I believe in the early 2000s and stuff, and I have those too, Animated Life and things like that. Those are wonderful books also. If you can find those, go track those babies down. I mean, it's fantastic also. There's just so much stuff out there on the man and his creations and everything. And I remember at the end of Pacific Rim, um, so Toro put up there, he put, this film was dedicated to the two masters and monsters, Silverado and Harryhausen. And nothing could have been further from the truth because Harryhausen is definitely a master of monsters. He created these characters, these creatures that will live on forever. So, man, it's just mind-boggling because a lot of these he hasn't made a film since 1981. That's been a long time ago. That's several decades ago. But his films and creations and creatures are still so very popular. It's just amazing, and I think it's wonderful myself. I really do. And hopefully, like I said, folks will be able to get out there, check these things out, see what they can see, and just enjoy them because that's what he made them for. He made them to thrill audiences to enjoy life. People would go out there and have a great time, entertaining, just going, wow, this is great. Soon you forget about my rent I gotta pay, or my flat on my car, or this bill I gotta pay. Things like that. You got to lose yourself in fantasy for an hour and a half to 2 hours. Which I mean, people still do today, of course, in movies. But he almost single-handedly created an entire genre, basically, and also a huge canon of films, legendary films, which my gosh, which will just keep on going and going and going forever. Just a fantastic stuff. Basically, the gosh, I'm just amazed at when I think about how many films there actually are in his canon of films. It's just incredible. And like I said, yeah, go check those out, everyone. Go see the movies if you can on the Blu-ray, DVD, streaming, whatever you can get them on. Just check them out and check out those books. If you get a chance to get the books, check those out too because they're well worth it. And if the exhibitions of his figures and art is touring at all, and you can get to it to see it, definitely go see it. Definitely go see it. Um, and one of these days, I do plan a trip myself to my ancestral homeland of Scotland. I want to go there, and so I'll be checking. When I do get there, I'm going to go check out some of the stuff around there and see what Harryhausen doing things in might have going on in the UK there at that point in time. So hopefully we'll have some things going on there and everything. And I might pop down and say hi to Nancy or something also. You never can tell. But hey, everyone, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you had a great time. Hope you learned some things. Hope you just had a blast listening to all the information, and just let that love for fantasy films keep on going. You can be 1,000 years old and still love fantasy films, creatures and monsters. But anyway, I just want to thank you everyone for stopping by, popping in for a little bit. I hope I entertained, and have a great rest of your evening and a great rest of your summer, everyone. Thank you so much. Take care now, okay? Thank you.